What's up, Internet? My name is Attack Slug, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw reactions for the week of February 29th, 2016. The very first Raw to ever happen on a leap day, and it won't happen again for another 28 years. See you guys in 2044. Anyway, our show this evening begins with a long, rambling Triple H promo, because of course it does. He's your world champion. We're heading into WrestleMania, so of course the long McMahon, Helmsley era of opening show promos. Why the fuck not? So, in this thing, we got some weak-ass Roman Reigns chants. So apparently Tennessee doesn't care that much about Roman Reigns. But who do they care about? Dean Ambrose. Getting a much bigger pop than the mention of Roman Reigns, which is pretty telling when you think about it. He comes out to confront Triple H and back and forth, recapping some stuff that happened last week, etc., etc. The one thing I found here that was funny was the fact that Triple H is like, you can't just come in here, scream a bunch of demands and go, right now, and have a thing happen, because that's not how it works. When that's literally how most of wrestling has worked for, like, ever. That's usually you come out, you go, I want it right now, have a match tonight, and then it happens. That's kind of just, that's wrestling. So, that was funny. And tonight on Raw is going to be The Undertaker, and to promote that, we're going to have some really old photos of The Undertaker. Like, what the hell was that shit? Real old photos of him when he had much longer hair. Next match was Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch for the #1 contender for Charlotte's Divas title. And as you might expect, it ended up in a double pinfall, and nobody won. It was a draw. And, of course, the announcers are like, well, now what's going to happen? Now what's going to happen? Meanwhile, the crowd, very audibly chanting, triple threat, triple threat. That is the obvious end game here, but we're not quite there yet. I thought the match was good. I thought the finish, which was a sunset flip powerbomb, was not well executed, because it was like Sasha did the sunset flip powerbomb to Becky. Becky sold it, and then Sasha just immediately lays back, and so all four shoulders are on the mat. Had they gone down, had she gotten the powerbomb, and then Becky would like use her foot to kick Sasha in the face, then it would have been more believable. As it is, Sasha kind of flopped backwards for no fucking reason, and that was kind of, that stuns me just a little bit. Anyway, we got a brief Wyatt backstage thing about the definition of insanity, and that just made me want to play Far Cry 3. But I'd say that they're probably going to be in that Andre Battle Royal, or, an IC match, whatever. Who knows? But speaking of which, we had Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz in a very quick match. Like, that match would have already been over on Raw as I'm sitting here talking to you. It already would have been done. And it was a quick roll-up from The Miz beating Dolph Ziggler. And I still have the thought that these guys are both going to end up on Mania, either in a multi-man IC match or in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That moves us on to Stephanie McMahon finally accepting her Legacy Award, the Vince J. McMahon Legacy of Excellence Award, and not getting through her speech because obviously the crowd is just, shitting all over it, getting some great heel heat here, and then she just, knocks over the podium and, goes on, and then leaves. But the notable thing here is that there was a girl in the crowd wearing a Double J Slapnuts t-shirt, very visibly on TV, and I'm like, who in the hell is buying those nice-ass seats on Raw and wearing a Slapnuts t-shirt? Like, if it's not someone actually related to Double J, who the fuck's doing that? Anyway, next match on the show was the Lucha Dragons versus Rusev and Sheamus, the League of Nations. Rusev and Sheamus win this match, and it was kind of whatever. I kind of have to wonder, what are they doing with Kalisto and his U.S. title? Like, nothing. And the only other thing that was notable here is that Wade Barrett took a bump. So perhaps he's almost healthy enough to wrestle again. Not that it mattered, because he's supposedly leaving in the summer. Anyway, get that last Mania payday, and then fucking just getting on out. In the most bizarre part of Raw, we had Renee Young talking to Natalya backstage about how she keeps herself looking so good, and the secret is delicious Subway sandwiches. So there was that. And most notably in that segment, Renee Young literally did the "there you have it," which she does in the game if you watch my career videos, like in every single interview. There you have it. Back to you guys. Back to you, Cole. It's terrible. But she literally did it on TV, so okay, the game is now justified in using that over and over again. But yeah, weird little ad for Subway. Like, what? I preferred when Santino stole Jerry the King Lawler's Subway sandwich and then ate it. That was hilarious. This, not so much. Anyway, we move on to Ryback. And I'm, at this point, not sure if he's a heel or a face. Apparently, at house shows, he's been doing both. And he fights the Radical Mongoose, Adam Rose, who finally stopped wearing those dumb, plain-ass black pants. So get some color in your wardrobe. Thumbs up on that. And he won this match by just punching the crap out of Adam Rose for like 5 minutes and then the shell shock. So very decisive victory, but still not sure what the hell they're doing here with Ryback. So this Raw had a lot of recaps. This Raw had several in-ring interview segments. This Raw feels like it took fucking forever. And I just wanted to point that out, that it just was like, I'm thankful that I don't watch Raw live and that I watch it the day after and I'm able to fast forward through things like numerous recaps of last week and this week, etc., because goddamn, there were so many of them. So, next match was The New Day versus Y2AJ, which is AJ Styles and Y2J Chris Jericho. There was a New Day promo before the match, and they were kind of pimping the Edge and Christian show. Like, are they friends now? Are they faces? Like, what is going on with The New Day? I don't know. But this was a tag match, and of course, Y2AJ won the match, and of course, they want a title shot next week on Raw. So that will probably happen. But I would have thought you would have been pushing for a AJ Styles singles match at WrestleMania. I don't know why this tag team stuff is happening. We are 33 days now from the show. On Raw, it was 34. Now it's like 32. Anyway, we are about a month from WrestleMania. What are you wasting your time for with this tag match stuff? What are you doing? I should also mention, I skipped it, but apparently Rusev had some kind of a body slam challenge, which they kind of mentioned on commentary wasn't actually a segment on Raw, because a Rusev body slam challenge makes 0 sense. He's not Yokozuna. That was a big deal when Yokozuna was a huge fucking dude. Rusev has been slammed by anybody. John Cena, Roman Reigns, Cesaro, you fucking name it. He's been slammed by them. That is not a significant achievement, so I'm not sure why the hell that was a thing. Anyway, yes, Y2AJ won that match. Then, we move on to another talking segment. It is Vince McMahon coming out to recap this up with Shane and, mention that he's disowning him and taking him off the will, and he's no longer his son. He's a son of a bitch. In the middle of this thing, they bring out The Undertaker, because obviously they've been saying, okay, on Raw, there's going to be The Undertaker, who is clearly finally growing his hair back out a little bit, I hope. I don't think it's a wig this time. But all I can say about that is that The Undertaker's entrance was literally like 10 times longer than the amount of time he spent talking on the microphone. Holy shit. Just do the thing where lights go down and then go up and he's in the ring. Don't give him the whole full thing. He said like 2 things and then fucking left. It was dumb. Anyway, next match was Jey Uso versus Bubba Ray, because apparently the Dudleys and the Usos are still feuding for reasons beyond my understanding. There was some vague table shenanigans here. No one went through a table, but they used it on the outside. And then, they're hypocrites and whatever else. So I guess that's going somewhere. I don't know where. we had another Goldust R-Truth segment where R-Truth just kind of chewed out Goldust and he left, and then R-Truth felt bad about it. It wasn't funny. I'm not sure what that whole tag team thing is about. I don't know where that's going. It's kind of weird. After that was the always thrilling... It was the Big Show versus Kevin Owens, which is apparently a rematch from SmackDown. I don't watch SmackDown, but it was a SmackDown rematch, and they pretty much did the same ending as SmackDown, but in reverse. So basically, Kevin Owens gets crotched on the ropes and gets counted out, and Big Show wins by a count-out victory. Dear God, do not give me a Kevin Owens-Big Show feud. What the fuck are you doing? So that match was kind of not a whole lot of anything, but the one thing I've noticed tonight, and perhaps this has been happening more and more lately, they actually mention the referees by name these days. Jack Doan and Charles Robinson and, you know, that kind of stuff. So I just recently noticed that. And for a long time, they were just the referee. They didn't have a name. And now I guess that edict of not having referee names anymore has been removed. And they actually mention the rest by name. That's cool. They have names. God damn it. Anyway, that runs into this match, which is Brie versus Naomi. Before the match started, it was a backstage thing with Brie talking to Renee Young. And then in comes Lana being a heel, because, you know, she's back now with Rusev, so she should be a heel. And I don't know if they're actually building to Brie Bella and Lana as a singles divas match. That sounds insane. Like, I know Lana obviously did training, you know, to be a wrestler in NXT, you know, before it was, you know, on TV and stuff. You know, she's done in-ring training. But if you're going to have somebody like Lana, who obviously hasn't had a lot of matches, or hasn't had any, you know, hasn't had any televised matches, you don't stick her in there with Brie Bella, who is fucking terrible. So, that being said, Naomi wins this match. And I have to wonder, why was Brie there? Where was the other member of Team Bella, Alicia Fox? Like, what happened there? Anyway, Naomi wins, and then out comes Lana, and she claps, and that's the end of that segment. So I guess they're building towards Brie and Lana. That's kind of weird, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, we get the fabulous Freebirds in the Hall of Fame. I feel like these Hall of Fame video packages used to be longer, and they're just real short these days. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. But yes, they are finally going into the Hall of Fame, so that's cool. We learned that we're going to get Sasha Banks versus Becky one more time on SmackDown this Thursday. Spoiler, I bet it ends the same way that Raw ended, more or less, and we don't get a decisive victor, and they end up making it a triple threat match on Raw next week. That's just that direction. Okay, so main event: Dean Ambrose versus Alberto Del Rio. Match was kind of whatever, and then out comes Triple H, and there's a beat down by the League of Nations, and then we get the pedigree on Ambrose, and Ambrose. They say yes, Ambrose, you can have your world title match. One would assume it'll be at that March WrestleMania thing on March 12th, only on the network, coming live from Toronto, most likely. And Dean Ambrose is in the ring. He's like, thanks. And then back comes Triple H to beat him down more. Tosses him over the table, through the, you know, announcers. Triple H grabs Byron Saxton and just fucking chucks him. And I have to imagine that was for last week. Like, this is what you get for getting caught handing Roman Reigns that blood capsule. You're taking a fucking bump on Raw tonight. That's your punishment. And then he kind of just beats up Ambrose on the table for, like, you know, 5 minutes or something like that. And then he takes a monitor and, like, hooks it at the ref. I'm like, what the fuck? Not getting paid enough for that. Yeah, so that's kind of it. And then Triple H leaves, and that's the end of the show. That was Raw. I thought it had too many recaps, too many in-ring talking segments, and the crowd was okay, but not particularly great. But next week, Chicago. So hopefully a hot crowd will fix that show, regardless of what they decide to present here on the Road to Mania. But still, For Mania, we're like a month out here. So what's happening with the US title? What's happening with the IC title? What's happening with the Andre Battle Royal? The things need to be set up. You've only got a couple weeks. What the fuck are you doing? Anyway, I'm Attack Slug. Once again, this has been my Raw reactions, and I'll see you next time, and every day for more videos right here on the channel. And I'm out!